Alrighty, so week eight. Week eight. We only have week 8 and week 9, and we're done. So quickly coming to an end of the semester. So this week is all about e-commerce, the cloud, and working on Project Zero, which are all really important topics. Okay. Let me give you a little advice I'd have for you. And I said it when I did the video here, but I think it's worth repeating. Is that because you're going to build out pages this week. So the more work you do to get that index page updated, get your menu done on there. So what do I mean by that? Right? Again, a little duplicate here. But in this case, I have my index file open, right? And then I have my menu. These are my icons for my profile. That would be right here, right? So in here, I'd update all these. And then I updated my nav bar with all my menu, right? So these are the menu pages. Right, so here's my menu for about. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I ended up with 4 menu items, and in this case, every one of them has a landing page. Now, my about doesn't have any subpages, but my passions did, right? So I ended up with health, running, teacher, and learner, right? So in here, then that's a subpage in there. Okay, so in that case, most of the work I did here was really about getting that index page with as much of the updates as I could do before I started building out a lot of subpages. And again, the reason I did that was so that it made, when I copied that code from, because I ended up doing it, I ended up having a subpage and inner page. So once I got my index the way I wanted, then I copied the pieces of the menu and the social links and all the stuff that I knew would repeat on each one. And that's when I then started creating my subpages from there. Now, if you do it differently, that's okay too. You'll end up doing a bit of copying and pasting, and just know that in VS Code, there's also a replace. There's a global you can replace on one file, or you can replace in one subdirectory. If you want help with that, let me know as well. So the thing I would say to you as we move into this week is, remember that to-do.md file, right? I'm going to have you give a link on the Thursday night item, but using that file as a way to help get you organized is a great idea. Like some of the things that I'm talking about here, you could go, oh yeah, I need to do that, because looking at your site at this pace, right, after week 7, after you finished week 7, right, you've now got your topic, and now you have a new page. You know how to create a new page. Hopefully you know how to add it to the menu. That should have been part of what you did here. Maybe you added it somewhere else. And you know how to deal with images at this point, right? So again, review that let that to-do list be a guide for you to help keep you organized, because sometimes a project like this is just about having, like, oh yeah, you think about something, and if you don't note it, you'll forget about it. So use that as your guide. Okay, so that's just my input for that. Now, I did today go and look at Project Zero based on the wonderful discussion we had about this, and I did give point values to things, and I did include the sitemap.html, right? So if you want to check this out, you could pause this video, and then if there's anything on here, it's really probably the biggest difference is I added the sitemap, I added point values. And the reason I did that was because you guys asked me, hey, how do I grade myself? And then I say, you'll grade yourself in the comments. And again, you can see when this is done. And we've already talked about the end of the semester. I'll probably talk once more next week about that. Okay? So, we do some really good topics. I mean, e-commerce is such a interesting field. I was really happy I found some new content for some of the e-commerce because there's definitely a couple of new things I think that are worth talking about, and those are covered in there. The cloud. So when you're doing the cloud assignment, first thing you're going to do is get introduced to the cloud, and then you're going to choose one of the three cloud most popular, which is Amazon's cloud, which is AWS, Microsoft's cloud, which is Azure, and then or Google's cloud, which is GCP. And then you'll actually go based on now having an understanding, because I've also given you a link to an article that talks about some of the features that these cloud providers do provide. That's redundant, but hopefully you get the idea. Is then go research some of that, because trust me, cloud is a part of your life. If this is what you want to do, know it. The more you know about cloud, the better your life is going to be. Okay, so I hope you have fun with this week. Now's a good time to ask. Like I put in here, I put any questions regarding anything I've gone over, maybe Project Zero, any timing. Is there any other questions about the not only Project Zero but the end of the semester? Right. Again, I'll do that next week, and yeah. And if nothing else, just give me or just say, hey, I got it. Moving on. Have a good one.